cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today.
It was in the late 40s that Rialto introduced its first city park called Lilac Park. A few years later, Little League Baseball gave birth, and with it, one of the most dedicated individuals that came to coach youth about what it really means to play ball. This is Bud Bender's story.
When I first came to, it was Lilac Park at that time. I was helping my cousin Richard Bender coach his minor league team, and at that time, I lived in San Bernardino and drove up to help him, and that was in 1962, and in 65, we bought a house in the city of Rialto, and we've lived there ever since till we moved.
After establishing Rialto as his home, Bud found himself spending more and more time around the ball fields at Lilac Park.
We call it the three fields, the pony field, the Little League field, and the Farm League field was there. We made the Farm League field. That wasn't there when I started. And we made a field for the farm kids to come and play. And the snack bar, we did all the what do you want to call it? The remodeling of the snack bars. We put our own grill in, we put our own fan that draws out everything, and we did this all for the kids. And the boys and the girls, at that time when I started, it was all boys. And then the girls could come and play, and they were just as good as the boys. And some of them, I shouldn't say this, but some of the coaches wouldn't pick girls, but I did. I picked them, and I talked to my sons. They were on my team, or somebody, I said, who's a good player? They would tell me who the good players are, so I would pick them. I had girls softball team for 3 years while I was doing Little League, helping Little League coaching also. For the kids, we never charged the kids to play ball there like other leagues did. And we thought, hey, if we can get enough money for these kids to play, that's what's going to happen. All they had to do was come and sign up and play ball. And we had to have insurance on them. Even though they had insurance at home, Little League says you have to have insurance. So we had, I think that was $3 for insurance, and that was it. And these kids were great. I mean, $300 a year. And I was there for how many years? I mean, I see kids now that come up to me and say, Mr. Bender, do you remember me? And I'm looking, I said, you played ball or what? Yes, we played at your park. I said, okay, thank you for coming up and talking to me, because I would never know who they were. That's how many hundreds of kids that went through that park. And if it wouldn't be for that, they weren't out on the street. They were at baseball, and the parents would come and drop them off a lot of times. But hey, we were there to help coach and teach them sportsmanship and everything else. So we had a good time. We had the scorekeepers upstairs, and we built the upstairs. It wasn't there when we come, so we built one upstairs and announced the games for the parents to hear in the bleachers. And we had a great time with all of that.
Bud Bender served the Rialto community as a coach of softball and Little League teams, coach, manager, board member, president, and vice president of Rialto Western Little League, vice chairman on the Parks and Recreation Commission, president of the Gridiron Club at Eisenhower High School, president of the Friends of the Rialto Seniors, trustee and finance committee member of the Rialto United Methodist Church, vice chairman of Fontana Latino Methodist Church, server of meals to the needy on Wednesdays, and member of the East Rialto Kiwanis Club. On June 14, 1996, the Rialto City Council officially renamed Lilac Park to Bud Bender Park in honor of his dedication to the community.
We had the closing ceremonies for Little League, Western Little League, and I had no idea what was going on. I wondered what all these people were doing there, out front there in the field, and John Longwell was master of ceremonies, I think, at that time. And all of a sudden, he made the statement that Lilac Park never did anything for the city of Rialto, but Bud Bender did. And I just looked at him, and he said about, we're naming the park Bud Bender, and the tears just came. I couldn't stop them from flowing. And I said, did you ever see an old man cry where you're seeing him cry right now? I was one of the happiest days of my life, except when my 3 boys were born. And we got married and went to Niagara Falls for our honeymoon, my wife. But I was really busy. I don't know how. Thank goodness for my wife, or I don't think I'd have been doing all this here. But she was right behind me all the time. I would just say that I have a Rialto Western Little League hat that I put all my pins on. You got a pin every year you were an officer, a coach, a manager, or if you were on the board of directors or whatever it was, you got a pin. Some years I got 2 pins, and I put them all in this one hat, but I don't wear the hat. It gives me a headache. It's a nice Rialto Western Little League hat with all the pins on it. And I used to take it down to the park and show the kids, and they all were stunned about it. They wanted to see that. How'd you do that? I said, 50 years or 47 years of being in the league. But those pins were something else, and all my kids loved them. My grandkids loved them and everything. Oh, I had some grandkids on my team. One kid wrote a note, something at a school, and they put it in the newspaper about he was playing at his grandpa's park, and next year he's going to be on grandpa's minor league team. And we had fun when we first started from Lilac to Bud Bender Park.
Almost 20 years later, on May 21st, 2016, Bud Bender Park is rededicated after a $2 million park expansion. The partnership with the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation on the Dreamfields program included the LA 84 Foundation and the City of Rialto Community Services Department. This project added 2 Dodgers Dreamfields with upgrades to backstops, benches, irrigation improvements, regrading surfaces for smooth and consistent play, new infield mix, new bases, and pitching rubbers, as well as new outfield fencing, field turf renovation, new snack bar, restrooms, new signage, and a new scoreboard.
Yeah, I was sad to see the old park goers, right? But after they showed me pictures of what the new park's going to look like, I think it's going to be neat and beautiful for the people. Everybody that lives in that area right there, someone would come up while I'm in the grocery store and say, "Bud, what are they doing to your park?" I said, they're going to remodel it, going to be beautiful. And please, everybody come out and use the park. That's what it is there for. You will enjoy it. You can walk around the park. You can plant a garden there in the summertime or whatever you want to. Almost wintertime you can plant certain vegetables there. So come out and do it and use the playgrounds for the children. And please be with the children when you come out there so they don't get hurt. And my name is Bud Bender, and welcome to the new park. Thank you.